Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and Davon to the others and Apostle G Mess super well. And Shalom to the hopefully like this is gonna be real quick. This just going into, you know, the spirits that's out there. We definitely in the latter end, man. You're definitely in the times where things about to turn up, you know, right around the corner from, Jacob's trouble and implementation of the, see hit. And I was watching this video and and it was going through my head, different scenarios on how brothers might try to or might get accused, as well as you already been targeted. We already been targeted, right? So just being vigilant, man. Don't all the little smiling and obviously you don't just want to go out and be a reprobate demon. If you're going out, just get to where you got to get to and go home. Get what you got to get and leave. You know. But at the end of the day, this is a graphic video, fair use, fair use. I'm not getting paid off any of this. This is it says 83-year-old man viciously stabs building manager at senior living facility, I believe. Okay. So, yeah, these people are going to bug out, and they look like Edomites to me. We don't know if they Edomites or not, but, that's the spirit of Edomites that he's going to put. Edomite is going to use the sword, right? Edom is his sword. So we put two and two together. You know, I'm not saying that it is or it ain't. I'm just saying he did stab someone that was repeatedly. And I'm not going to play the video because it is graphic. I just wanted to, get some scriptures on these type of ordeals, man, or on this one specifically. Okay. It's Amos 5:18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? For the day of the Lord is darkness and not light." See, what we have is a light warning you of that coming darkness, and then we also have a light warning the people that come up out of Babylon by way of the mind, so they don't get caught into that darkness that the Lord is going to bring. Lest the Lord, it's like kind of like when you pass through Egypt. If you was covered with if your walls was covered with the blood, right, of the lamb, that he passed over you. He didn't your sons, your daughter, your house didn't get plagued with the plague of death. Your first son. But see, this light that we get comes from Yahweh Shai. And Jake, is pretty much out there. They've been the eyes and the minds have been shut to the truth, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So it's they haven't been given the faith that they would need to get through these times, man. But hey, it's I mean, if you seeing this out of 83-year-old men, you see young men bugging out like this too. You know, I mean, it's just gonna come at all angles, man. It's verse 19. It says, like I said, the day of the Lord is a darkness and not light. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand against the wall, and the serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? You see, and that's what's coming, man. These different plays that the Lord is implementing, like you said. Let me get it. Jeremiah, was it Jeremiah 15? I believe. Jeremiah 15:2. It says, "And it shall come to pass if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?" Because people are going to be wondering. Well, while you're seeing things go down in real time, you know, but the Lord's going to give you a mind to be able to deal with it. He's going to give you a mind to be able to get through it all the way until the implementation, the pretty much the mandate of the what. So it's gonna get trill out here, man. People gonna lose it. It's verse 2. It says, "And it shall come to pass if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, Thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, such as are for the sword to the sword, such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for captivity to the captivity, man. Because some people gonna be taken captive in these times. You got FEMA camps, you got these little ICE organizations, you got traffickers all throughout the United States. Human trafficking enterprises, and in plain hidden in plain sight. Famines, people ain't gonna be able to eat food stamps, ain't that's gonna be cut off. Things gonna skyrocket, prices are skyrocketing, or going to skyrocket. People are already starting to feel the ratifications of food stamps, the food program, pretty much being shut. SNAP benefits and all these different, welfare organizations, they're being shut off, man, or they're being, brought to little relevance to helping you out in life. You're not getting the benefits that you was once getting. A lot of those benefits are going to war. Trump's pulling a lot of those different welfare checks and welfare scheme, what they call them, financial, human labor, I don't know, Department of Labor, Department of Health, all those different financial loans that the federal government gives these states, man. They're starting to pull them away, man, because he's putting more of that into his military, or more of that into the infrastructure of this digital system, man. So it just tells you, Jake they're gonna take the chip, man. Since such as are for the sword to the sword, man. It's bad. Don't trust nobody, man. Don't trust nobody in these times, bro. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you, right? But that's what we're supposed to do. This chapter it said the prophet acknowledges. This is Micah 7, and let's start at verse 1. It says, "Woe is me, Salah. It says, Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, man, as the gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat, and my soul desire the first ripe fruit." When you get into, just symbolically speaking, right? The fruits and the grape gleanings, the first fruits, and your grapes represent blessing. When you get into that word grape, it goes into blessings as well, man. So the blessings, and we're not just getting welfare, and pretty much the marketplaces, and like it talks about Isaiah, uh, in Jeremiah, the tinkling ornaments, he's gonna take those away. The women are going to be suffering the most, because you embedded your whole life into this government system. So in order to participate, you're going to have to take the chip, to keep any riches, or to keep any status that you think you got to keep your cars, take care of your kids or whatever, man. You're going to have to take the chip. And Jake ain't used to being homeless. A lot. Well, I don't want to say Jake. Let's put it like this: a lot of you women ain't used to being homeless. Is what I meant to say. You're not used to being homeless, like what's about to happen. You've been getting fed, you've been getting bred into a lie. That lie is about to get exposed, and you're gonna be out there left. This verse 2, it says, "The good man's perished out of the earth." It says, there is none upright among men. They all lie wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. You see Jake throwing out snares for other Jakes, Israelites throwing out snares for other Israelites, right? It said that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asks, even the judge asks for reward. And the reward of Balaam goes into that. It's the same thing. The same things repeating themselves, man. It said, "The great man, he uttereth his mischievous desires." And it says, so they wrap it up. "The best of them is a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn's edge." It says, "The day of the watchman and thy visitation cometh." It says, "Now shall be their perplexity." And what is the watchman? The day of the prophets, the day that the prophets said was going to come, the things that the Lord said was going to come, the things the prophets been saying was going to come, the things that we've been telling you to, get this sealed into your mind. Get the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, this knowledge, wisdom, truth, unsealed in your mind, man. That way no one can take it from you. That's your crown. That's really your seal in these times. Not no money, or not anything that you think that's going to save you, because somebody's going to take that. You put faith in that, Lord might have somebody take that shit from you. Destroy your whole fucking family. cut they fucking, pick your kids by the head and cut their damn necks off right in front of you, man. Our Lord, our power is terrible, man. I'm just putting you in the mindset of, what you gonna have to put your faith into. It ain't gonna be. The Lord wants faith. He don't want nothing outside of faith in him. Otherwise, you put faith into your own works and you're gonna have to deal with that. We'll see how far you go with that. Verse 5. It says, trust ye not in a friend. It says, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from hurt that lieth in the bosom, man. Because it's gonna get ugly, man. It's going, and I say it all the time, man. It's gonna get so ugly. People around you, brothers around you might, what I'm saying, might lose it. You know, so it's one of them things where you really gotta understand, what you're getting into. Cause that betrayal hurts, man. You're gonna face some of that, a lot of that. It says, for the son dishonoreth the father, and the daughter rises up against the mother, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. And see, what did the Lord Yahushua say he came to do? That's what the Lord Yahushua said he came to do. And that's the will of the Heavenly Father. He did the will of the Heavenly Father. Now that spirit is going out there, and you see these things already brewing up. Verse 7, it says, therefore I will look unto the Lord Yahweh. I will wait for my God, for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Rejoice not against me, O my enemy. When I fall, I shall rise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. And that's when we're going to have to put our full faith in the Lord, even in the pain, the mocking, scoffing. Yes, it's going to be a lot of that. You know, a lot of that. But you're going to have to keep your crown. Verse 9, at the NLT, it says, I will be patient as the Lord punishes me, for I have sinned against him. But after that, he will take up my case and give me justice for all I have suffered from my enemies. The Lord will bring me to the light, and I will see his righteousness. Then, verse 10, then my enemies will see that the Lord is on my side. They will be ashamed, they taunted me, saying, so where is the Lord, that God of yours? With my own eyes I will see their downfall. It says, and they will be trampled like mud in the streets. And let's get this real quick to end it off, man, because I like to preach faith, but a lot of times, because in those times you're gonna have to have something to lean on to, you know. Always doing this stupid. Yeah, my stuff is starting to get after it too. Yeah, this is about to get off the earth soon. We're gonna end it right here, man. Hold up. Get this. My computer stop. This damn thing will stop acting up. Sirach 25 and 7, man. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. Which we're gonna mock a lot, as we gonna go into these things, brothers and sisters. Those of you who are gonna go through these things, you're gonna get to see the fall of your enemies. That's the latter end. And a lot of the house of our own households are our enemies. They're not our fucking friends. If they're not serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, they're not your fucking friend. They're going to turn on you. But we're telling you this now so that you don't fall into that snare. But you go ahead if you want to. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that have joy of his children, he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. Um, yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there, man, because it's definitely getting to them times. It's about to get ugly. Keep your mind focused on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Stay true, stay down for Yahweh Shai, man. And let him let him raise you back up, because that's the only way to go. Because you see how this world thinks of us. And secretive, counsels of Israelites, see how what they think about us. So at the end of the day, you got to stay true to Yahweh Shai. You know, bear that cross and bear whatever comes with it. So call all Yamla, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.